Hi, nice to meet you guys today here. I'm very happy to introduce both of you. So very nice to meet you. Please, can you just tell me a couple of words or a couple of sentences about your background and your current position?
Okay. Thanks for having us. I'm Károly Szántó, founder and CEO of Uniprisma Venture Studio. My background, I spent the last decade in venture capital. I would say in the whole ecosystem. So I played a key role in launching 3 venture capital firms. I launched a startup accelerator and now venture studio together with Thijmen Meijer, my co-founder partner.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, so my name is Thijmen Meijer, Dutchie, living in Budapest now for 10 years. In the last decade, I worked in talent acquisition, building up high-performance teams in talent acquisition, from corporate to a smaller agency. And currently, I'm the COO and founder of Uniprisma.
Okay, it's very nice. And can you just tell me a couple of words about Uniprisma? What is the main role and the goal and the objectives of this company?
So Uniprisma is a venture studio, but actually much more than that. But it's a venture studio that helps co-building startups, helping them to get investment ready, and basically scaling. So we help them to get the right talent, we help them to get the right investors, and to help them to get the right go-to-market strategy, basically, so they can focus on the product.
Okay, so you find these startups and people in the very early stage, if I understand well.
Yes, it's usually early stage. And adding on to what Thijmen said and referring to our conversation from earlier today, actually, we are also in, in our teenage years, trying to find out our identity. And I think we can be transparent about that as a venture studio. So yes, we are a venture studio co-building startups, but we are also, I would say, a creative venture kitchen that cooks other things. And I believe we'll eventually launch venture capital firms, domain-specific firms, and also some other things that we can discuss later.
Okay, and just can you tell us a couple of words? How did you meet and how did you get this idea?
As a headhunter and with my own firm, I basically supported one of the startups in the portfolio of where Károly Szántó actually worked as a COO. And I basically helped him to find, I helped Károly Szántó actually to find for one of his startups a senior sales leader. And this is how we got connected, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
But then Thijmen reached out to me a bit later. And he came with some people and actually pitched me an idea of how he and his team could hands-on help startups to scale and grow. And I asked him, are you aware that you are pitching a venture studio to me? And he said, he doesn't use that word. But I said, yes, that's so we are in the same business. So let's see how we can collaborate. And this is how it started.
Yeah, it's very similar how I met with Thijmen. Yeah. So we have also just a personal experience from the past. Exactly 1 year ago we met first time.
Indeed.
In Budapest in a very nice program. And we just met recently. And we find out when you explained me this venture studio idea that I also built something similar a bit later stage. So I see that it's a very nice complementer that you are finding these startup companies. You are helping from the very beginning, from the very first step to bring them to the later stage where when my companies, they come in and to support them. So I think it's a very good collaboration. But based on your experience, what is the key challenge? I know from this discussion that the human resource and the people is always a big challenge. Mm-hmm. But what is still the other challenges in this very early stage startup companies? It's a question to both of you.
Yeah, it's hard to prioritize, but I would say the personality and character of the founders. I think that's everything. If that's if they have the right values and the right capabilities of execution, then it's like, I don't know, maybe 60% of the success rate, and the rest you can build around. But if these foundations are weak, then it's not possible to build around anything.
Solid. It's not a solid basis. It's difficult. Okay. And you talk about the peoples, and you are expert in the people, headhunting and management, and the founder is the most important, or the CEO is also important, or even more important, or how you build up a team? Because the founder is, of course, is the number one person. But I saw in my personal experience that working in the biotech medtech field, so the founder is usually a university expert, professor, or researcher with zero knowledge about the business and the execution. There's a very nice talent in her field. And the main limitation for these companies, what I saw by my personal experience, that they cannot go to the market, they cannot develop, they cannot find investors, because they cannot change their habits, their behavior, their attitude, the researcher scientist attitude. And I saw that the startup companies, they realize that the founder should be a chief medical officer, or just which is a very key and important person, but the management should be handed over to the professional CEO, CFO, COO. So how do you see? Or it is this very early stage, the founder is enough? Or do you need to think already from the entire team and how to develop the team for the company?
Yeah, good question. Personally, I think that a founder is the number one in the team, at least in the beginning, to set the company. And this is also where basically Uniprisma can help with. But at a certain point, indeed, the founder does not need to step into the trap that he cannot grow, or he or she cannot grow the company due to the fact of the lack of business knowledge. And indeed, there's a lot of startups that are failing because of this. And indeed, the first thing is a CEO. And there also you will see which founders actually are authentic and genuine enough that they also see that they need to step down in order to let the company grow. And next to that, of course, it depends on the team, but a CFO indeed, or a CMO, and it depends a bit on the type of company and which stage, and also what industry. Yeah.
Is it easy, based on your experience, that the founders, they are stepping back a bit, or they just open the company?
It really is per person. It's completely different. You will see indeed the difference. The companies that make it, they understand the founders. But it's, of course, it's letting your baby go, basically. It's letting your child go, and so it's a difficult
question. Yeah. Because I see many times that the founders became sometimes, or quite frequently, the limits if they are not open for these changes. Now, which are not changes. It is just a natural growing and the natural improvement of the company and scaling up the company. And I just saw many times this issue that they didn't realize it, and they do not want to step back, because of course it is her baby, but anyway that after a while is the limiting factor is the behavior.
Also, I think it's about ego and control, and some of the founders struggle with letting partially the control taken over by a new CEO or mid-management even, but it's really necessary, and I think it's no wonder why more and more universities or accelerator programs are trying to apply entrepreneur in residence approach, but it doesn't solve the basic problem. You can find the best entrepreneur, trying to merge it into a team. But if the founder doesn't accept that he needs to let go, then it will not work. There will be conflicts and micromanagement and all that. So, but I think it's it's easier to do it at the very beginning, at early stage. It's also a stress test. Like if the founder can live with it and actually grow with it, then that's a very good sign. That's a very good indicator that this company will eventually be able to execute on the market. And if the team is broken, then the miracle will not happen.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that every company needs to have a different CEO. Yes. Of course, I mean it's not a. But if the founder actually knows its own limitations, that's basically the
success
key.
factor.
Yeah, the key. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But okay, just for fairness, there are some founders that are coming from the academic sector, and yet they have a very good natural talent for business,
or they are also learning,
or have already built some businesses. So even serial entrepreneurs. I'm pretty sure you all know people like that. They are the lucky ones, of course, but it's also easier. So, I mean, you can actually sense the culture of a team. If the founder has any experience in business, it's a different vibe, it's a different mood, it's a different energy.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I had also in my own company, I get the feedback that it's completely different when I'm talking about my company or somebody else, a manager and team member is talking about the company. It's a completely different story. Yeah, and your venture studio is able to help these founders to grow as much as possible, to learn and to keep as much as possible, to develop the company. And in case you realize that the founder is not enough, you need extra support, so you are able to support them and provide them some talents, or how it works in the real life.
I would say it has. You basically mentioned two major components. One is more like a methodology that you apply, like a playbook, like how to actually launch a startup and how to grow, how to find your niche and your value proposition, and then additionally prepare a go-to-market strategy. But that, of course, requires a good team. And I think on the playbook side, on the method side, I bring in my experience, and on building the team and finding the right people, that belongs to Thijmen. So I think this is how we complement each other.
Okay. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, nothing to add to that actually. Yeah, it all comes back to the framework, the standards, and then of course the people that actually set that in motion. Yeah.
But also I think for me it's very important that Thijmen has already built several companies, so he's an entrepreneur himself. And I find that in a world full of consultants, it's refreshing to team up with people who actually have some skin in the game and have some scars, battling through building up companies.
Yeah, it's very important that their own experience and not just learn from the blade.
Indeed, yeah.
And what do you think that next to the people, which are key factors, or what is the next main burden for the companies just to grow and to start and then build their own company to the successful level? So which is the second main issue?
What I see very often, and I will try to say it in a balanced way because it's not true for everyone, but most of the startups are overly occupied with their product features, so to say, and less occupied, less busy with actually discovering their actual potential buyers, the market. Now, it can be very different on a research-based startup, right? Because yes, you need to be very occupied with your research, of course, so that's fine. But then spinning off a research and making it a service or a product or an IP, that already requires some of the business sense. So I believe in early stage you need to obviously validate your idea. And by validation, I mean, does this product or service, does it make sense on the market? And it's not a desktop research. And that's where it goes wrong, because most people, I don't know, they create a desktop research, but they never actually go to these meetings and pick up the phone. And yes, it's difficult because people will reject you and you will, receive critique.
That's painful.
And very painful, and they will criticize and whatnot. But that is the learning curve.
Okay. Yeah, it's very difficult. Many people they don't accept. Maybe after the 1 or second no, they just give up. Yes, it's very difficult. You can also help them to teach them how to pitch, how to manage this kind of discussions, talking with partners, with investors. Is it also part of your service portfolio, or it is just coming?
I would say so. Yes, I think currently we are involved in, I think, 4 fundraisings, and when you prepare for a fundraising, it actually requires, we need to be involved in everything, because for fundraising you need to have market validation, you need to have your financial plan ready, you need to have your team ready and strong and ready. So yes, we do a lot of pitch deck, let's say, fine-tuning, but also that requires a good brand identity. So you start something on the top, but then you end up digging up the roots and trying to pull the act together. So yes, a lot of pitch preparation, fundraising preparation, a lot of business planning.
Okay. And is it easy to accept by these founders, CEOs, these people? It's still people management. They accept your advices, or they are reluctant at the beginning, and they realize that they have to accept the more experienced people's advice.
Some yes and some no. I would say that generally I would say yes. Otherwise, we would also not be able to help them. So if they don't accept help or constructive criticism, then why are we there? But yeah, indeed, it's like also what Károly said. It's getting the message across as well to a potential investor. That's really difficult to do that in a short amount of time. The idea might be brilliant, but then how do you go to market? Who is your audience? Who is your buyer?
Yeah, and also I think the core question that comes up each and every time in early stage is who you are and who you are talking to. And it sounds very easy, but it's the most difficult question. And I think collectively we need to put a lot of effort in truly discovering who that startup is, what is the persona, what is the value, and who you are talking to. And that requires a lot of, it's not an easy job to actually get it right. But it's very, very important. Once you get it right, then you can build upon that, your pitch deck, your financial plan, everything.
In many cases, I met with founders. They built very, very nice, extraordinary product. Or they thought they have very nice publications, but I just made a very simple question. But who is willing to buy this? And they couldn't answer, because there is really no market need for that. So it's very nice to have it, but there is no market need for that. Is it a common issue, or it is just a few cases?
I think it's very, very common issue, especially academic spin-off, university spin-off completely. I don't know. I'm curious, in your experience, how do you find this? Is it a common issue in your circles, in your experience?
In medical field, it's not so common, maybe, because you have from the very beginning you get the problem, which is mainly a disease or a program, so a diagnostic or a treatment. So you always have the market for that problem. So I see less cases, but still, I found out that because of the complexity, because of the safety issues, or even if it's more common maybe in medical devices, that it's too complex, it's too complicated, painful, or something like that. So you are it works and you get the results, but the way how you get it, so I cannot expect any patients that they are willing to do that. And even if, of course, you can prove that you get a very precise measurement and diagnostics, but if nobody is willing to do, there is no market for that. So, but fortunately in the medical field, I think it's much easier to find the target audience, let's say, and it's more difficult that the failure rate is very high in our business.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
And I'm not talking to the investor, because you are not only an investor, but now I'm addressing the investor, Peter. Is it true, or have you experienced that whenever you meet with a new startup, a new founder team, how much are you aware of your gut feeling in the first meeting, and how much it actually counts for you in your decision?
I get the official answer. I should be very precise on the due diligence processes, and the papers and the numbers should say that it's go, no go. Honestly, I'm really close to the feeling and to feel that this person is really authentic for me, the entire team, not just the founder. Because for me the team is more important than the product itself, because if the product is not a complete failure from the beginning, you can sell it if you get a good team, independently that is a medication, it is a device, or it is a fintech, any type of products. So for me the people is more important than for any other investors. But yeah, based on my experience up to now, I like my gut feeling. Definitely.
And when you say the people are the most important and you listen to your gut feeling, so what is it? You already mentioned authenticity. Totally support that. What are the two, three other?
The dedication. I have many issues in many different fields, not just in investments, but in service companies and many other fields. The people's, the attitude of the people, the behavior of the people. So nobody would like to work. Everybody would like to get successful within 24 hours without any extra effort, which is not works, or I don't find this recipe yet. But it's very important that if this person is a founder, a CEO, is really dedicated, and they can give that so much plus power into this company that you can survive much more challenges, and you can really sell your product even if it's not the best in the world. And that is important for an investor as well as for the society as well.
Great. So, I mean, your input is crucial for us because as we start to deal with startups in the early stage, we must know how an investor thinks, and actually I think we share the same values and approaches, and we are also selective. And I believe a success of an investor and a success of a venture studio is very much dependent on the dedication and authenticity of the founder. It's almost direct correlation between. So if we work with a founder who has a mediocre product but an outstanding team and very motivated, it will happen. The miracle will happen.
Yeah, I can really translate that. I'm more invested in the people than to the product or a company. Of course, you have to do a very detailed and very precise due diligence on a professional, legal, and financial part, but the people are always on the number one. And I think we can share our first success story, which is building very quickly now. This company called Yoni, it's a femtech company. You just introduced me, both of you, the founder. I think it was 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago. She was really impressed me. We get a very good, nice collaboration, because since we started this collaboration very quickly. And I think it's a very good example that the founder is so dedicated. She is so dedicated for personal reason and professional reason in this particular case. but I'm so confident that it will be successful that it was the easiest investment in my life, and it was the fastest round. Yeah.
And what are actually the don'ts actually when you're looking at the person it's pitching to you? What is the don'ts basically that a person should not do?
I do not have general rules because when you meet with somebody, in the first few seconds you get a feeling that it's a sympathetic or non-sympathetic person. So it is already a go-no-go decision. It's halfly done. But of course, I made my homework before we met. So I read many articles and the posts. Roswitha, who is the founder of this company, and it was very impressed. I like how she managed her entire life and how dedicated she is and how hard worker she is, which is also important for me. And so she just confirmed. So when we met this personal meeting a couple of weeks ago, it was just a confirmation for me that it should be a very good company. On the other hand, I would like to also to show the world and for our smaller and wider environment that our collaboration, I mean Uniprisma and my venture company and service companies, that we can be a game changer. We have to speed up the promising startups, how they can go to the market, how can they get successful. We have to give them every support. We have to show that with our support it is more successful than the traditional models. And I think we are on a very good path on this way.
Mm-hmm. When I first met Roswitha, I heard her pitching Yoni Health. And in the last decade, I think I must have seen, thousands of startup pitches. This was definitely in the top 3, I would say. And yes, the pitch was perfect, but it's not the perfect pitch. It's actually the way, the presence.
Yeah, the feeling. I had a feeling that
it's very strong presence. Like it really comes through the commitment, the very strong commitment. Like whatever she would have, presented, I think I would have thought, yes, she will make it. Either way, this person will make it.
Yeah, that's we talk about the people.
Yeah.
This company was sold by the founder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a very good example, and I really hope we can speed up. And yeah, you are very successful. I just read the emails that everything is progressing much better than expected. So it is also very rare because usually I have that, okay, there is a delay again, they need more money, there is a delay. It is completely the opposite. Yeah, they are faster than expected, they are better than expected. So.
And also I think it's partially like we discussed earlier, the founder sets the tone, the culture, and Roswitha, her standards are very, very high in terms of speed and quality. Like usually startups are either speedy, fast, but then they are not very detail oriented. It's a little bit of messy, but she's like detail oriented and fast. And it's very, very rare. Even I would say she's very demanding, even with us. And I like that actually. Like, okay, let's do this. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I felt also a bit. I felt first a bit pushy, but after I just realized that it is.
That's because she's very dedicated. Yeah, very dedicated. Yeah.
That's what she needs to be. Yeah. So, so these are the qualities. But I think it's interesting that you mentioned the due diligence. Yes, it has to be. It has to be done, and it has to be supportive of the decision, but there is this human factor, and I think even though the three of us have very different backgrounds, but I think we share that aspect,
and also the values are. I think it's very, very similar. Yeah. And also, I see this company that Roswitha built a very nice international group of people around her. So it is also nice, and I rarely see, especially Hungarian local startups, that they are able to attract really good names and completely international from US, Europe, or Asia. So it was really interesting, and it was very nice to see, because it's not a common experience what I saw in the past, that they have a really good team, and also I think it's very supportive, and they help to reach these milestones much earlier and so well.
But that's also why authenticity also attracts authenticity. So it attracts good talent as well. From a headhunting point of view as well, this is the first thing is employer branding, and then basically that attracts much better talent than if you don't have anything, or the founder is just not authentic enough, or is just phony. But this is very dedicated, rolling up the sleeves. Yeah.
You find that the founders they should start their branding very early, and it's okay. I didn't think about that yet.
We just discussed it as well earlier in the conversation, that I think it's key to success.
In what ways?
From a go-to-market perspective, because a good idea is nice, but if you cannot actually bring it to market,
just to take the attention for the potential further partners, investors, and also for the employees.
The first thing you did was looking at her post, looking at her, what she wrote about, what she did, how she did it, the website that she made, and I think that's key as well to success of new founders, is how you portray yourself on the market. If you indeed have only 40 followers on LinkedIn and 41 followers of connections, it doesn't rhyme, basically. So it needs to, just because you have a nice pitch, but on the backside you are a completely different person, it doesn't rhyme. So indeed, go-to-market is much stronger back then. Plus, eventually it will also be a much more affordable journey for the founder as well. So it needs to pay less for service advisors, less for suppliers. It basically becomes more
attractive for everybody.
Yeah, indeed, to be connected to that specific founder and startup products.
I was just really surprised. I never think about it before, that if your personal branding is good, you can find better talents, because it is my main challenge also personally myself, that how to find the good talents around you and to build your own team globally. And it is a very nice point. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, but the key is genuine and authentic. Otherwise, then branding is just a nice haircut. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
That's true. And what is your short-term and mid-term and long-term plan with Uniprisma? So what is your vision, mission?
Okay, so we have started our partnership with you, and I think there is just so much opportunities in that domain, and we literally just started 2 months ago. So I would say, first off, we need to, accelerate the deal flow and onboard more startups into our partnership, prepare them for go-to-market and for investment, and then as we move on to next year, I think we can and we should open up the scope geographically, and CE region has a lot to offer, while we would still keep the medical domain or the health domain. And in that sense, I just wanted to mention that how important your background as an investor, because you are not just an investor, you have very deep domain expertise, and you have execution capabilities when it comes to testing, clinical, and all that. And I think that's de-risking at its best. basically. So I think this is how we connect. Like if there is this whole journey, like from the spin-off, preparing them, forming a team, forming a business plan, prepare them for investment, and then actually executing.
Fast and quick and cheap.
But then you need so much support. You need the infrastructure, you need processes, you need and the expertise. So I think this is our joint value proposition. I would say is very, very strong and quite unique in this region. And I think we should, scale it up. So I would say this is one of our main focus for now and for next year. But then also, of course, we would like to launch an early stage fund so that we can also support at the very beginning with small ticket sizes, so that to stabilize and accelerate the startups, and then later stage follow-on investment could come from your VC and from potential co-investors, because I think we have a very strong value proposition for co-investors. Not many deal flows are actually vetted and stabilized. Like, we could probably answer all the questions for a co-investor in terms of how we mitigate risk in early stage, and that's very, very rare.
Yeah, that's why it was built also my own model. I started a couple of years ago, that is risk mitigation because of the professional expertise and knowledge and the holistic support and overview. And many of the investors, based on my experience, they don't really understand the meanings. I think they are the dumb monies coming from different sectors, but there are more and more partners. I see VCs and startup companies. They understand that this risk mitigation is very important, and how much difference is between general investors compared to our model, where we are just not investing the money. It's more important we investing our knowledge, expertise, and all the support they have. It's much more valuable than the cash itself, and I think it's very important. So if I would like to summarize in one sentence, you are building now the Silicon Valley in CA region.
Sounds ambitious, but yes, I think we are very ambitious.
Yeah, maybe not just this year, next year.
Yeah, and the ecosystem, of course, that supports that Silicon Valley.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.